Welcome back to Morning Rush. Existing home sales jumped 6.7% from December to January. That's according to a report just released by the National Association of Realtors. Now, keep in mind here, we're seeing a record low inventory right now. The median price for an existing home rose more than 15% to $350,300. With the housing market continuing to stay hot, many people might be thinking about selling their home. Well, if you are, what do you need to do to get it ready to go on the market? Senior Associate Andy Weir from Strokey Properties has some advice. Thank you so much, Andy, for coming on the show and spending your Friday morning with us. So for people who are thinking of putting their home on the market, what are the first things they should look at when assessing the overall condition of their home?
Well, you know, the same things have remained true for many, many years. In this market, even though we're in a huge seller's market right now, with the lack of inventory, as you just mentioned, the preparation still remains the same. At a minimum, light and bright sells houses. You want to fresh paint if it needs it, declutter for sure, make the house look bigger than it needs than it normally looks, and also landscaping is key. Professional photography is also important. There's a lot of people who are trying to cut corners right now and do things like iPhone photos, and it just doesn't work. It's too much of a visual medium. So you're making your house look as big as it can, as large, big space and light and bright and fresh. And even though it is a seller's market, you still need to do those things to prep.
So a scenario for you. I have a friend who just bought her first house, and they were feeling really lucky, but they have to make a lot of changes and a lot of renovations. Are you finding that homeowners are having to do maybe less because people are so desperate to buy a house right now?
Well, it's a good point, and there are cases where you may have upgraded the kitchen, upgraded the bathroom, put in new flooring, all to get it prepped for sale. It's a balance. You can get away without doing. I have a house right now that's coming to market tomorrow, as a matter of fact, and she had already done these upgrades, so it made it real simple.
Right.
But yes, there are buyers who are willing to do more work than they used to be. Turnkey used to be so critical importance. Now buyers are willing to accept more work to do on a house just to be able to get that house because it is so competitive out there.
Yeah, and my friend, she is definitely not DIY. She is buy, and she knows that, okay? But how should people determine whether an upgrade or a renovation is worthwhile before putting their home on the market?
Well, the word dated is used a lot.
Yeah.
If something is really, really dated and you're trying to get top dollar, you can make tens of thousands of dollars investment for a potential gain of 2 or 3 times your investment to do that. It also takes time to do it. So if you're in a hurry to sell, you won't have time to make those changes, but you'll always reap the benefits of an upgraded kitchen and bathrooms and flooring.
So you mentioned this a little bit ago, that people are tempted to cut corners a bit here. And I want to ask you your advice for anyone who may be going through this process of selling their home and they're trying to, save a couple bucks here and there. Overall, what is your message to them?
You still should get the house prepped properly and not cut corners. I mean, I'm not saying you have to do the big upgrades and the big expensive remodel, but getting it prepped properly, even if it's down to staging. I mean, staging might cost a few $1,000s, but you'll more than benefit between more people who are willing to make offers on your home because of the way it looks and a higher purchase price at the end of the day. It's definitely worth not cutting corners and still doing the things you need to do.
All right, Strokey Senior Associate Andy Weir, thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thanks.
Take care.
Yep, you too.